Hey guys, my name is Dark/88, and today we're going to talk about the 3 rules of Beyond Chaos Permadeath. I've played hundreds of runs of Beyond Chaos Permadeath, and I've beat 5 of them, and these are the rules here that I found are the most important for helping me stay alive and actually successfully transitioning from World of Balance to World of Ruin to successfully defeating Kefka. So let's get right into them. Alright, so rule number 1, always float. Now what does that mean? Rule 1 is always do things that are advantageous to you that for the most part don't really have a downside. So, casting float on your party keeps you alive from Quake, Meg-8, Womp, Chocobop, Wombat, any attack that can deal damage but will miss if you're floating. So, it's basically always advantageous to be floating, and it can be very dangerous if you are not floating. So please, always float. Also, a subset of that is keep you guys in the back row. Occasionally, it's right to actually have them in the front row, but otherwise, keep them in the back row and they'll take half damage from all physical attacks, which again, helps you stay alive longer. Another part of this rule is gather as much information as you can when the game is willing to give it to you. So early on in the game, especially in the Moogle fight, as you're defending Terra, you can learn, does the seed have tools in it? If it does, then you want to prioritize finding tools. Does it have throw? Great, you want to buy shurikens, first opportunity you can. Are there any lores that you can learn from the R skills that the Moogles have? If there are, you should learn them as soon as possible because you don't know when you're going to find the lore user, and every run has a lore user. Basically, any opportunity that you have to gather more information about the run is going to help you as you progress deeper into the run because you know what you're looking for. And sometimes you can even deduce down what skills a character has based on information you've been given earlier in the run. The last thing I'll say about this rule is also learning the mechanics of Final Fantasy VI. So if you're playing on wait mode specifically, you should learn how to wait trick. Now, I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of wait tricking, but you're going to get more turns per turn that the enemy has, and you're going to be able to strategize a lot better if you learn how to wait trick properly. You're also going to take less damage because the enemy will attack you less frequently as you're wait tricking. Also, on that note, you also want to learn skill priority. So if you've ever had it where you queued up a spell, you queued up a mimic, and then you queued up a jump, and then the jump happened first, and then your mimicker mimicked the jump instead of the spell, and you're like, what the heck happened? Well, it's because jump has a very high priority, and it happens almost immediately. For example, X magic is a very slow skill to actually happen, or command to actually happen. And so learning these things, again, will help you strategize better in your combat, and it's basically just knowledge that is going to help you stay alive. So that's rule 1. All right, let's move on to rule 2. Rule 2, always be scared, which, very simple, assume the randomizer, as amazing as it is trying to kill you every second of the game. Because, let's be real, it basically is. So now, to follow this rule, and I would say this is the rule that's broken the most, but this is just, it's a very easy rule to break, and it's very punishing when you do. So what I like to do is, especially when you're in a new area and you're fighting monsters you've never fought before, if you can, run with one character. As soon as one character is out, doesn't matter what happens, everyone else can die, your run's not over. So that would be the biggest thing, and it is time consuming and it's a little tricky to get to learn how to do it, but it will keep you alive. The next thing is when you are opening chests, expect them to have a monster. I can't tell you the amount of times where it's like, oh, whatever, I'm not fully healed, I don't have really that good a gear on, but I'm just gonna grab these chests and then I'll heal up and get all my stuff. And you open a monster in a box and it kills you. Whereas if you heal up, you plan for the worst situations and then you can actually survive. On that note, don't need to be a hero. This is the next point. So when you open a monster in a box and you get, let's say it's a behemoth sprite or something that looks pretty terrifying, and you can run away. You know what? If you have a pretty good feeling that you're gonna lose this fight, you should just run away. It's not worth the potential risk of dying even if you think that you're maybe going to get a paladin shield, if you die, your run's over. So forget the paladin shield, just run away, or at least run with one person, and then you can try to kill the very difficult boss that showed up in the chest. Now, if you can't run away, this is the last thing, is play to your outs. So if you open the chest, you can't run away, you're not sure what to do, you're wildly underleveled for what you're fighting, you gotta shoot for your one-liners, right? So can you stop it? Can you mute it? You know, can you imp it? Maybe even berserking it's gonna be better than having it cast meteor on you. Having status effects that can potentially win the fight for you is far better than just casting bolt, or something that may deal damage but probably isn't going to be enough to kill it. And on that vein, I would always prioritize learning spells that will give you a status ailment advantage, right? So stop, mute, those are two big ones. Confuse or muddle is also a very big one. Having a tool user, if you have noise blaster, works great. And then on the flip side of that, you always want to keep track of what are your vulnerabilities, right? So this kind of goes back to rule 1 with always floating. It's like, okay, you're starting to enter Zozo, you're starting to get onto the Magitech factory. All right, you haven't seen any Mega 8 yet, you should be floating, right? But at the same point, it's like, okay, do I have a safety bit equipped if I have one, or something that will deal with instant death attacks? If I have any ways to absorb different elements, trying to keep all the elements covered. So it's like, okay, I've got a titanium on, so that covers me against anything water-based. I've got a Gaia gear that covers me against anything earth-based. I've got a wall ring on, so that's going to cover me against a lot of spells and flare. Just trying to keep track of what could potentially kill you, and knowing what you're safe against, right? Oh, I've got wind absorb on, so that's going to save me against Merton, for example. Because as you get further into your run, and especially once you hit the World of Ruin, you get a Paladin Shield, you get a Minerva, you start being able to tick off a lot of things that aren't going to kill you, and your list starts looking like, okay, well, Throws will kill me, Meteor will kill me, Meteor might kill me, but you can negate that by having good Magic Evade, Hyperdrive might kill me, right? And you want to try to chop your list down as small as possible, but just being aware of that will help your run and will help keep you be scared so that you stay alive. Rule number 3, it's the least important rule, but it is still relevant. And so this is what I call don't get distracted, or what I say is chat distracted. Because let's be real, a lot of us play this game, we're streaming, we're watching chat, we're chatting with chat, and chat is amazing, but can be very distracting. So I've personally died because I was watching chat more than watching the game I'm literally playing. So in general, rule 3 is about don't let things outside of the game distract you from playing the game. So it can be chat, it could be if you're watching another stream while you're playing the game, or you're watching TV or a movie, anything like that. Obviously, though, it's going to make it much more difficult for you to survive your permadeath run. If you're talking to other people, whether it's in Discord or through voice chat, or if you're talking to somebody live who's in the room with you, that's all going to potentially hurt your ability to stay alive for your permadeath run as well. So that's it. The 3 rules of permadeath or 3 rules to help you stay alive during permadeath. Hopefully that has helped you. Let me know in the comments if that has helped you or not. If you agree or disagree, if you think there's anything I missed, please post in the comments below. And then always, if you guys can, give me a follow, like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. All these things help me out. You can also catch me live at twitch.tv/dark/88. And I will play permadeath every Sunday for roughly 8 hours a day. I also play it sometimes throughout the week, but you can catch me there. You can ask me questions. You can get me to elaborate further on this stuff. If you do like this content though, please let me know. And I hope this helps you stay alive in your next Beyond Chaos Permadeath run.